Hey guys, as you can see, this is a different kind of video. I'm by myself today. It's a few days removed from record store day, so I thought today I would share with you guys what I bought that day. And actually, I'm gonna show you what I bought for the last week. I had been thrifting earlier in the week, so I will be showing you kind of like two, 3 days worth of shopping. You know, thrifting is one of our favorite pastimes, Molly and I. So I wanted to do this because I could not contain my excitement from all the things I found. Before I get started, I do want to give a quick shout out to Smags, one of our favorite people on YouTube. He makes music related content, album reactions. Recently, he's been doing this thrifting for CDs series, highly entertaining. So I just want to acknowledge him. You guys should check him out. We're gonna go back to like last Sunday. I had some spare time. Molly was working on a project and I decided to kind of venture off and do some thrifting. I decided to go to a local record shop first and check out their used CDs and used vinyl. The first things I found were 2 CDs from the same band in pristine condition, Arctic Monkeys. We have Humbug. And we have their second album, Favorite Worst Nightmare. I was quite surprised to find these two, again, like in perfect condition. Favorite Worst Nightmare is their second album. It has 505, which is arguably one of their most popular songs. One of my favorite Arctic Monkeys songs. Also has Do Me a Favor, This House is a Circus, Fluorescent Adolescent. Actually, I could go on and on. I would say in top 3 Arctic Monkeys albums. Same with Humbug. Actually, this one's aged quite well. It has My Propeller, which could be my favorite Arctic Monkeys song. It's between that and 505. Also Cornerstone. I had a huge Arctic Monkeys phase back in the day. Probably my late 20s and early 30s. I saw them live like 3 times, and yeah, I fucked up. I did the 100 favorite albums video, and I completely forgot about Arctic Monkeys. I don't know how I did that, but I would have had 2 or 3 albums on there. Next, I will share with you a bossa nova classic by Getz and Gilberto. Kind of like a jazz bossa nova album from Brazil, and this is like some sort of like Verve Master Edition, meticulous restoration, bonus tracks, new liner notes, photographs. It's in this fancy kind of like gatefold packaging, and again, this is in pristine condition, which is insane. Another classic that I got was this John Coltrane compilation called Coltrane for Lovers. It's a collection of his slower, kind of like more romantic, chill tracks. I'm actually a fan of one of his EPs he did with Johnny Hartman, and I have that album like on vinyl. But some of the songs are on here, such as Dedicated to You, They Say It's Wonderful. It's perfect for like, you know, candlelight, kind of like chilling in the evening, dimly lit rooms. Found this in a dollar bin, so another score. And lastly, for that haul, funny story about this one. I was working out that morning and I was listening to this album, which I hadn't listened to in the longest time. So this was the last thing I expected to see in the used section when I went to the record store. And it's Vince Staples' Summertime 06.
Split the dollars with my mama children. Folks need Porsches, hoes need abortions. I just need your light of my business.
So this blew my mind when I found it there. This is Vince Staples' debut album. It's a double album. It has the track North North. That's one of my favorite songs from his. Has a couple collaborations with Clem Casino on this. Yeah, this was probably the biggest W of them all. I was super excited. I was super thrilled. I could not contain my excitement. I had to share with Molly. She of course did not care, but hey. So to summarize, I had Arctic Monkeys, the 2 Arctic Monkeys albums. Got Getz and Gilberto, John Coltrane, and Vince Staples. So after that, I was kind of like, okay, let's keep going. I want to check out more shit. So I ended up going to a thrift store. I ended up going to Value Village. Value Village is very hit and miss. I mean, just like most thrift stores and used record stores, it's always very hit and miss. But I usually find that Value Village is good for like old school R&B, like 90s R&B, and that's what I found. So I'm going to share with you a few of these. Diary of a Mad Band by Jodeci. came out in 1993. Jodeci is one of two of my favorite R&B groups. I would say them and Boyz II Men are my favorites. But Diary of a Mad Band, they have My Heart Belongs to You, Fiendin', What About Us. It has Lately, which is a cover of Stevie Wonder's song. It's an incredible version. There's an unplugged version, which is pretty incredible. But this also has Cry For You, which is one of their best songs, one of their biggest songs. And there's a rendition out there of the Mickey Mouse Club where Justin Timberlake and Ryan Gosling as kids, they sing a version of that song.
Yeah, baby.
The other CD I found was one of my favorite Janet Jackson albums, which is Janet, also from 1993. That's The Way Love Goes, my favorite Janet Jackson song, one of my favorite R&B songs of all time. Also, this has If, another one of my favorites, and Anytime, Anyplace, which most of you would probably know from Kendrick Lamar featuring Drake, Poetic Justice. I just love this cover. I love the colors. As you can see, the CD is like has this copper bronze kind of color. It's pretty dope. A classic, again, from 1993. Two albums that I grew up listening to. And lastly, I did buy this Justin Bieber album, Purpose.
It don't make no sense unless I'm doing it.
Before you laugh, there are some bangers on here. There's a track, No Pressure, featuring Big Sean. And probably my favorite song, No Sense, featuring Travis Scott. Nas is on here too, for whatever reason. Company is another good song. Highly recommended. You should check it out. No shame. The funny thing though is when I brought this home, Molly was like, hey, you bought that already. So I have two copies of this. I know, I found this thing, which is like a CD case. Old CDs, bring them in the car. I bought it because it was green, my favorite color, and it's $2. So throughout the week, I did have a couple things in the mail that I kind of want to show you guys. Firstly is this slip mat that I got from Kith. Recently Kith did a collaboration with like the Peanuts, for shirts and things of that nature, whatever. But they did create a couple of slip mats, a couple of designs. They pretty much sold out in minutes, so I was pretty thrilled to get this one with Snoopy holding up the record. The other thing I got in the mail was this used copy of Giogatti by Boards of Canada.
He could be sitting on the table right now, but you can't see him. If he was a bad man, he'd make everything bad.
I don't know if you could see it on there, but there's a stamp on here, and it's a Japanese stamp. So I actually got this from a used record shop in Japan. I got it because Molly and I have this kind of like running inside joke because of a bonus track on here, which is called From One Source, All Things Depend. It's an interlude that is included in Sleep Mix, Boards of Canada Sleep Mix on YouTube. That's just this funny interlude of these kids talking about God and religion. It's not supposed to be funny, but I don't know, we think it's funny. So that kind of leads us to the actual record store day. I didn't actually have plans to go, but I did look at the selection of albums that were going to be released that day, and one of them piqued my interest, so I thought I would venture off and look for this album. I decided to go back to that same record store that I went to the week before. They also had a sale. It was 25% off all used music, so vinyls and CDs. So I went there and I could not believe these three that I found. These three vinyls that I found. The first one I got was Sampha. So apparently this is like a special edition white vinyl, but I found it in the used section. I believe it's called Lehi. I could be fucking that up, but this album has been requested many times on our channel for us to react to. I have never heard this album before, but I thought I'd just get it because it was there. And it was on sale, 25% off. Thought that was a pretty cool deal. The next album I found was Doris by Earl Sweatshirt.
With addiction, fell for the bitch with the pale but skin who just packed up and dipped in a land of the rentless. Stand with my chips and a
Again, I couldn't believe I found this used as well, and it was just sitting there. I think this is Earl's debut studio album. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Earl album, although I really love this album. I would say I think I Don't Like Shit, I Don't Go Outside would be my favorite, but this one's really good. Super thrilled about this one. This one came out in 2013, 2015, according to the back here, but yeah. And the last thing I found was this one right here for $9 plus 25% off. Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder. Obviously, this is a classic, and this is some sort of like collector's edition. It comes with a 24-page lyric booklet, and it was supposed to come with a bonus disc that contained like 4 bonus tracks, but unfortunately it wasn't in here. The guy said it wasn't in there when it was sold to them, but yeah, you can't go wrong with this. $9 for this classic, plus the 25% off. And it does have the rest of the album on here, so yeah. So that was a great find. I did find a couple of CDs. The first one being Luis Bonfa. He's another bossa nova Brazilian artist, and he has this album called Introspection, which we discovered last year and is quickly becoming one of our favorite albums, Molly and I. He's a guitarist, and he makes really peaceful music. Decided to look for more of his work at the record shop because this album that we found, Introspection, you can't find the physical copy anywhere. I did find it on eBay once, but it was going for like $200-300, so I couldn't really justify it at the time. I decided to check out the international section at the record store, and there was a Brazilian section, and so I did find this, which I had never heard before. Put it on in the car, and it's great. It's a great album. So I would suggest that. Luis Bonfa, Nonstop to Brazil. It was funny because when I entered this record store, they were playing an album, and it's one of my favorite albums. I spent some time there. You know, as I said, I found all his vinyl, found the CD, went to checkout, and the album that was playing overhead, I saw the CD case just kind of sitting on top of their stereo system. And so I was asking the girl, like, hey, is that CD for sale? She said, yeah, you can take it. So she took it out of the CD player, stopped the music, put it in here, and gave it to me. It's a used version of Third by Portishead.
White horses, they will take me away.
This blew my mind as well. Like, I didn't expect to find this used and 25% off as well. I know I found these albums, but I think this was my biggest find during that trip, was Third by Portishead. Portishead is one of my favorite artists / groups, I guess, and highly recommend this album, Third. So while I was there, I decided to like kind of Google other record stores, and I didn't realize there were 2 other ones that were around in the city that had never, like I said, I'd never even heard of them. But I decided to venture off and see if that vinyl that I found on the record store store day listing, see if I could find that. So I ventured off to the next record store, which was located in the French area of the city. So I went in there. It was a tiny place. I think it was a family-owned business because I just overheard the guy introducing his son and his wife to a couple of the people that were buying records there. They were super friendly. They were kind of like offering treats and free coffee. So shout out to them. I didn't find what I wanted to get, but I found this other record store day exclusive, and it is Freddie Gibbs, You Only Die Once.
Drugs, aggravated robbery, hurting on the inside and hide behind this tough shit. And this misogyny, see the man in the mirror, ain't gonna lie to me. Whole lot of snake niggas. This
is actually one of my favorite hip-hop albums of last year, and super underrated. Kind of just went under the radar, probably because there's no big names on it. Like, there's no big name producers on here, and there aren't any features, but conceptually and lyrically, this is pretty consistent with his other amazing work. Definitely one of my favorite rappers, Freddie Gibbs, along with Vince Staples, who I mentioned earlier. Just a very consistent album, and super happy to get this on vinyl, to get a physical copy of this. Even though I love this album, even though I got it and super happy about it, it still wasn't the one that I was venturing out for. So I decided to go to that Third record shop, which turned out to be like this little shop in this little strip mall, like on the other side of town. And I later learned that it's actually the oldest record shop in the city, which is kind of wild considering I had never heard of it. So anyway, I went there. There was a lineup to get in. It wasn't that long, but when I got in, it was a tiny shop, super packed. Wasn't able to record in there, but as soon as I got in, I found what I was looking for, and that is Blue Moon Safari, which is Moon Safari by Air, which is one of our favorite albums of all time. But it was actually remixed by Vegan. If you don't know who Vegan is, he's this electronic artist who produced a few songs off Blonde by Frank Ocean, also on Endless. When I was looking at the list the night before, they already had this on streaming, so I decided to listen to it on streaming. I would say it's not as good as the original, because the original is flawless. But I just thought it was an interesting concept, 2 of my favorite artists together. So I was super thrilled to find this at this new record store. So that was kind of like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Discover a new store and get the vinyl I was looking for all day. As you can imagine, I was super happy with all the CDs and vinyl that I found, albums that I didn't expect to find, and I just couldn't contain my excitement. That's the reason why I wanted to share with you guys, and I think that's it. So yeah, I think that kind of concludes my review of my haul for the week. Let me know if you guys went out for a record store day, if you guys bought anything, or just in general, do you guys still buy CDs? Do you guys still buy vinyl? And if so, let me know what you guys copped recently. Also, if you're interested in more content like this, if you want to see our extensive CD collection or extensive vinyl collection, we were kind of thinking of sharing like some of our favorites and kind of just talking about music in general, trying to expand some of the content that we're kind of creating for the channel. And other than that, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for your continued support of the channel, and we'll be back with another reaction soon. And that's it. We'll see you guys next time.